a UK lawsuit dismissal, more Microsoft misdirection, and AirTags stop car thieves. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Slack. Discussions, questions, and answers, and a place to talk tech with your friends. The MacVoices Slack is available to all patrons of MacVoices. Sign up at patreon.com/MacVoices and join in. We talk so much about litigation on this show. But Reuters reports that Apple and Amazon have fought off a $600 million UK lawsuit over alleged collusion. And if I'm reading this and understanding the way I think I do, it's not that Apple and Amazon might not have been guilty of collusion, of trying to do a little something with the Apple or the AirPods Pro, or AirPods Max, excuse me. But it's more that the plaintiff really didn't have the standing necessary to file this suit. And I found this, especially out of the UK, given some of the things we've said about them in the past few weeks, I found this really refreshing that, somebody actually is saying, how can you file all, this kind of suit when you really weren't harmed to anywhere near that kind of dollar number? And again, it's just it's an observation, but to quote it, the tribunal ruled that the case could not continue because Rifa, the plaintiff, had not demonstrated sufficient independence or robustness to represent the claimant class in relation to third-party funding for the litigation. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the third-party funding of litigation of this kind of thing, but it is a scary prospect that there are people out there that are basically betting on litigation to create a windfall, so they'll invest some money in some of these less than ideal lawsuits just to see if they can hit the lottery.
On the other hand, I guess once you get companies that are big enough, I don't know how you come up with enough money to actually, file a lawsuit without trying to do something with a group or a larger fund. I'm not totally wedded to that. I just,
Well, Eric, I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it completely. But when you see offshore organizations, and right now I'm speaking for the U.S., so not in relation to this, but when you see offshore organizations start to invest in litigation, then that becomes another matter. Because what are their interests in our litigation, if you will?
Although the case at least seemed to be an interesting question. If you've got a marketplace that is so big that it, is like one large, massive store and only certain people can get into it, is that a problem?
Fair question.
Maybe there's another solution for that.
I know. Anybody else have any thoughts?
Does anyone here have an opinion on any other company that they've seen or done business with or been a consumer and purchased from that controls their product pricing as tight as Apple does? I can't think of anyone that's as crazy about it. Maybe Tesla on their cars because of the way they distribute them, but Apple is it's kind of hard to shop for a new Apple product and find anybody discounting. Older products, you can generally find something. But if Apple wants to sell AirTags at $9 a piece, Apple will do it, but no one else is going to do it for
them. Webb, you're the car guy here, so I will turn to you and say, how about the higher end vehicles? Do they regularly discount those? I mean, can you go get a good deal on a Porsche? Or is that just, if you want a Porsche, this is the Porsche price and you're going to pay it to drive it away?
Let me go with the story about Ferrari, because I'm a lot more familiar with that as opposed to Porsche. Ferrari doesn't build a car until it's already sold. Okay. You can't go find a Ferrari dealer and go sit and find a brand new Ferrari that's not technically on the resale. Take from a guy who did that. In that case, no, it's very hard to find a Ferrari discounted, but on the contrary, they're normally marked up. They do a market value adjustment on those to sell them. So, and so you have the same thing with Porsche. Real Porsche files. There are some models and some versions of the cars that are more rare than others, and of course, those are going to be over retail prices. But I don't know if you're going to find one deeply discounted, but it's also a supply and demand issue too. The secondary market on Porsche specifically is very robust. There's a lot of cars on the market, and you don't see them discounted very much. Of course, the older it is, the less expensive it's going to be. But here again, it depends on the version. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think while you were talking. I was trying to think of anybody else that does what Apple does, and the answer is no. That's why I was going with something that inevitably Apple seems to get compared to the car market, especially the high end car market. But no, you're not wrong. I mean, I can't think of anything, and if the chat room can, please throw it in. We'll call it out, but.
Now I'll go the inverse on that. Another very expensive car is a Bentley, Rolls-Royce too, for a certain extent, but let's stick with Bentley. Bentley's the theory from the manufacturing standpoint is that I've sold the car, I've made my money, I don't care what happens on the used market. Okay, and you can generally find Bentley's somewhat more, I don't want to say discounted, but they drop their retail value a lot. Okay, you can also do it with high-end AMG Mercedes products too. They're very, very expensive when you get them, and you go about 3 years out. Yeah, they get to be pretty reasonable after that.
I'm sorry, are you saying that Ferrari and Porsche somehow control the resale of used cars?
No, I'm saying that especially with Ferrari, it's a supply and demand issue. I don't say I'm not saying that, but I'm not. No, even on used cars, it's still a supply and demand issue. On Ferraris, I know specifically about, and I'm not saying that Ferrari or Fiat, if you want to know who owns them, is, or Stellantis. They're not manipulating the market. The market is controlling itself.
But doesn't, Apple go after, if you discount Apple products? I think Apple has been accused of, in the past, of illegally restricting that. I know other companies have in the past.
But I think if I'm following your point, Jim, and I could, the difference here is a brand new product and brand new Apple product versus, say, my AirPod Max that I want to sell. Apple doesn't have anything to say about how I sell my used product, because the theory is that Apple's already made their money off the the Maxes like what you have. So. But Apple doesn't control that used market at all.
I'm not talking about used market. I'm talking about new market.
Okay.
Where in the past there used to be a lot of, companies would say this is the retail price, and if some distributor or store knocked the price down, said I'm willing to take less margin, then there were manufacturers that would say, okay, you're not getting any more. They wanted to control that retail price. But I believe that was made illegal.
Case in point was in Las Vegas, the Wynn Hotel. Steve Wynn has had a Ferrari dealership inside the Wynn Hotel, and he sold a car. Let's say a discount. I could be wrong, but whatever it was, he sold it, and Ferrari didn't like it, and they pulled his franchise. And he was a very wealthy guy, and he lost his Ferrari shop, which are very, very hard to get, by the way. You don't see a whole lot of Ferrari dealerships. I think there are 18 in the United States alone, maybe more than that now that I think about it. But my closest dealers was Chicago, Dallas, or Denver. There's not one here in the heart of the Midwest. So anyway.
So what I'm
Anyway,
hearing
Ferraris
is
that sell-
when you need to make a purchase, we're going to have a great time in Denver.
Yeah, but my connection's actually in Phoenix, so I'm going to see Brian first. So.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on the drive back home.
Well, you just want me to bring you some barbecue. I know that. So.
Yes.
Via Phoenix.
Trying to visualize that. Marty, you say I did not know this. Saturns were fixed price cars.
Yep.
Yeah, my recollection going into a Saturn dealer was we're not going to haggle. Here's the beauty. We're not going to argue the price with you. This is the price. And also it means we're not going to let you argue the price with us. But that was the selling point at one point with that line of cars.
That, but
and how did that work out for General Motors?
Dealers or was that like Tesla where they were selling it directly?
No, it was a dealer network.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't buy one. Just for that reason, I went someplace else.
Paul in the chat room, and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly or not, but Festool, apparently it's a tools situation or sawdust collection or something. He says that they hold their price. So that seems like that's a pretty specialized thing, or maybe I'm just not the right person to talk about Festool.
You've heard of Snap-on Tools, which is a very popular tool manufacturer, especially in the automotive space. So yeah, it's the same thing. You get and you get some of these mechanics that spend as much money on a car on their toolbox and tools, and they're paying on that forever. That's a whole nother deal. But yeah, they Snap-on holds their price very well.
Just a couple more to go here for this evening. Last week we talked about Microsoft using some dirty tricks with Bing to make people think they were using Google. The Verge reported that Microsoft stops using Bing to trick people into thinking they're on Google. They quietly killed off its spoofed Google search UI. However, John Gruber had an update on this because he did a little testing, and I will read it to you. So he says, okay, it's not so much that Microsoft has stopped the trickery, but more like they've just turned the dial down a bit. The Google Doodle style illustration is still there, but on desktop browsers at least, they've stopped the auto-scrolling that hides the Bing branding and site navigation at the top of the page. But if you have mobile Safari set to use Bing as its default search and search for Google from that location field, you get the Google lookalike layout with the Bing Bing branded scrolling out of view. I'd say Microsoft's dirty trick is still in place. Good for them. Not sure I agree with the last part, John, but so I just thought this was really interesting that they fixed it one place. Maybe they fix it somewhere else where it's not as prevalent, but they're still doing it. And I'm a little grumpy today about Microsoft because of some of my experience with Teams. So just allow me that. And the crowd goes quiet. Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, Teams stopped working for us.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, Jeff. So this one's for you. just for you. That the AirTags prevent so much car crime that Colorado police are giving them away.
Well, this is great. However, it's not all Colorado police. This is happening in the city of Arvada,
Yeah.
which is a suburb north of Denver. And this is great. Everyone should be doing this. I think Denver did it for a little while. And we have a big problem in the Denver Boulder metro area. So basically the Front Range of Colorado, where we have a lot of car thefts and a crazy amount of catalytic converter theft. So it's actually less expensive now for law enforcement to do proactive things like give people AirTags to put in their cars, or get deals for discounted catalytic converter shields. And like I have a Prius, which means that if I'm driving around the Front Range without a catalytic converter shield on my car, I'm going to lose my catalytic converter. It is a sure thing. So yeah, I spent the $300 on that, but that's not the point. The point is AirTags. So this is great. I want everyone, all the law enforcement agencies to be doing this. I want to go pick up my free AirTag for my car, and I'll put it in my car and keep it there.
Well, the article says that a free sticker comes along with the AirTag that says, "Warning, tracker equipped. This vehicle can be traced by police if stolen."
Give people that sticker. That'll do more than the AirTag in the car. Just hand out the stickers like candy.
I mean, I love this because we've talked so much about bad stories and some good stories here on the show about AirTags, and this just says that there is at least one very solid use case. I know I've got one in my car, and I'm not going to tell you where, because I don't want, somebody stealing my car and then ripping the AirTag out. But, yeah, I know exactly where my car is at any given time. So if
I don't know.
Jim?
I don't know if you want to say on here, but is the speaker in your AirTag working?
Is the speaker in my AirTag working?
Did you go in and cut the wires?
No.
So what does it matter where you hit it? People can make a noise.
That's assuming that they know enough about it to do it.
They do.
Okay, well then I've got
you
some
can still put it someplace where you muffle the sound enough that it's going to be difficult to find anyway. But I don't neglect your point. Say what now?
Yeah.
There's lots of guides online as to how to cut the wire, but and also, it's pretty well known that they can figure out that of course, if you're putting a sticker on, then that, in a car, if you cut the speaker, you might be able to hide it well enough that it would take quite a while to find it.
Which is the classic thing about, okay, it may not be perfect, but it's a deterrent. So they're going to go and try to steal your car that does not have the sticker or an AirTag, as opposed to mine, where they're going to have to dig through the car trying to find it and destroy it or throw it away, before the police can find them. So this seems like a pretty cheap little piece of insurance, in my opinion, both the sticker and the AirTag itself.
The Dirty Harry sticker say this car might or might not be tracked. You feeling lucky, punk?
Yeah.
How many people put an AirTag in their car and because they don't want to get the alerts about you left an AirTag behind when you're at home, set their home as a place where they don't get alerts for that. So if their car gets stolen out of their driveway, they wouldn't know till they get ready to go to work. We're going to hear a story about that at some point, if it hasn't happened already.
Good point, Jeff. But again, I mean, we all know that if they really want it bad enough, they're going to figure out a way to do it. And they're going to figure out a way to find a Faraday cage big enough to fit the car in, and then throw it over and drive it away. And there probably is one on Amazon right now if you go and look. So, Marty,
Faraday. Oh my God! I typed car Farah, and it Google completed it as car Faraday cage. I didn't even have to type the whole thing.
Yeah, and on Amazon you can get it delivered tomorrow. So.
I can.
You go get it, Marty.
Yeah. One more thing.
We'll
Marty.
show them.
Yeah.
And then ship it back to them.
With the car and the AirTag, just to prove a point.
Yeah. I was thinking about this whole idea of when your car is gone. It's sort of when I go on a trip and I leave my luggage in my room, my hotel room, and go walking down the street, I get constant reminders that I left my luggage back in the hotel room where I want it to stay. So it's turning off those kind of notifications or turning them on in the case of stolen cars that I've got to think about.
See, I always love that because I have AirTags in a bunch of different sub bags, and I never know kind of like which ones I'm going to take on a particular day when I'm on vacation. So you get all the notices that you know every bag you don't have, and then the rest of the set is what you do have, and then you kind of know you've got your count of the number of bags and which ones, and it's just easier. Otherwise, trying to keep track of how many items you have or whatever when you're on vacation, it's way too easy to pick up a donut and lose a camera because you have the right number of objects. Or maybe that's just me.
Sounds like it has happened, apparently, Eric. I hope it was a good donut.
Well, luckily I could go back and it was still there, but
okay.
It was stressful.
I just dropped you a link for a Faraday cage for your car.
Oh. Thank you.
$9,500. Yeah.
You think they just would have rounded up to 10,000 at that?
Where did they go? The psychological price point at 95. 9,500. It's like, yeah, I could do that, but 10,000. Come on, that's a lot of money.
Good thing it doesn't have a streaming option. Yeah.
Right.
Mission Darkness Exodus EMP Faraday car cover. $9,500 from.
So what purpose would you have one of these things for? It's a tent, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, car thieves need this. So
probably
now
not
we
for
have
$9,500.
Or this could be a sting operation by a police department who's waiting for people to buy this and then go and nail them.
Well, here's the thing. This is the line I like from the ad. We made the Exodus EMP Faraday car cover because all the other options on the market were three to 5 times more expensive.
I think this is for preppers. Like you want to have a car that you can drive away after a nuclear bomb goes off, and you don't want the EMP blast to fry the electronics in the car. You'll still be able to start your car if you keep it in one of these.
It specifically says
cage
exactly
tents.
what you just said.
Oh, does it? Oh, well, there you go.
Huh.
Yep. Interesting. Eric, I did want to comment though, it's funny because I find those reminders of leaving things in my hotel room kind of comforting because I know that the AirTags are working. So yes, of course, I know that I left my luggage in, but I also feel like, okay, now it's an affirmation, especially with luggage when you're away from home, that the AirTag is working and it's on the job. And if I would go back to the hotel and find my bag missing, that I could pinpoint it, unless somebody put it in a big Faraday bag like this.
You know, you could change your location for notifications for lost stuff with AirTags to your hotel room. So
Oh,
if
yeah,
anything leaves your hotel
Yeah.
room, then you get an alert.
that's true too. That's true too.
So we all go to Macstock. We're all going to be
Yeah.
changing our phones. Yeah. So, you know, one of the things about the AirTags that really bothered me, and David, I know you've had the same issue, is the battery life on the AirTags is could go out on you just when you least expect it. And sure, it'd be nice if you had some sort of device that could, you know, extend
Got
the
one.
battery life.
Oh,
Yeah.
A
Where,
segue.
yeah. Yeah. I was going to say,
Labs.
yeah, I told Chuck I was going to save this for after dark, but the topic just came up that I was just, now is the time. So, you know, we talked about this on the show about a month ago. And it's a case, right?
yeah.
And you open it up,
It's just
And
like
you can-
Marty's.
Yes.
put 2 double A's on it. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry, I didn't look up. So
Oh, nice.
okay,
I didn't open mine yet.
I gave
Of
one to my
course Dave
son
has one
who
within reach.
I gave one to my son who went on a trip this week. Whether he used it or not, I don't know. I've got one in my bag that I use that I take to school. I have my computer in every day, so it's
Yeah.
a little bit less noticeable than an AirTag hanging off the side of it. So it's in a side pouch in there, and then I've got this third one, which I haven't figured out whose pocket to drop it in.
So where's the link for this?
It's on Amazon.
yeah, I thought I got
Elevation
mine off
Labs.
Amazon.
Yeah,
so
I will find the
this-
link.
I think
Yeah, search
Craig's-
for time capsule
I didn't open
AirTag.
mine because I didn't open mine because I left it on my Amazon wish list.
At least you know where to find it, Jim.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Well, you don't know how many items are on my Amazon wish list.
I got to
Hmm.
scroll back many pages to get to the.
Elevation Lab, time capsule AirTag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There you go. Barry was asking for more info. So, yes, Elevation Lab, and you can find it in Amazon.
Yeah,
Um,
that's where I got mine from Amazon.
of course you did.
Yeah, and I ain't sending it back. I'm keeping it. So you know.
You
You
ordered
know-
3 of them 3 days in a row, right?
Yeah.
My son, we're doing Gear Up and Go as a podcast, and he pointed out these other Elevation Lab ones, which are basically sticky tablets that you can put the it's like a case, but like a typical AirTag case, but it's got you can seal them in them and attach them on the back with adhesive to various. So they have a couple of products in here.
So there you go. Throw this in your car with your AirTag in it, and you'll be able to follow your car all the way to the chop shop in another country.
Oh, the part that has the AirTag in it anyway.
Right.
Until it gets chopped. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't. Yeah. Thank you. I did not know some of these other things. And they're a lot less obvious than an AirTag, than just a standalone AirTag. Interesting.
Boy, there's
Gentlemen,
an
thank you.
AirTag fabric mount. I'll have my wife put those on her quilts. So
All right. Here you go. AirTag security mount for like your car.
Is this from
Only-
Elevation Labs or somewhere?
yeah,
somewhere else
we're
too?
on the Elevation Lab website itself.
Okay.
Huh.
And you even use the security tool to open and close the thing.
Yeah, it's a small hex wrench, basically.
Okay.
Okay. I will try to make sure. Again, chat room, I apologize for not being able to throw links in, but I will make sure that I have them in the show notes so that if you're interested and you haven't found them by now or then you can get them. Yeah, some of these, yes, I see the fabric mount web.
Yeah.
I mean, it just slides right in there. Those are really smart. Some really smart people here. Guys, this has been fun. The discussion has been the whole way. It's been all over the place. David's cracking his open right now. I can hear him.
I am.
A bit. No. So thank you all for digging in, especially on the Netflix thing, because I think that was something that the more we can get people to think about some of these things, the better. Let's go around the room. Let folks know where you are other nights of the week, and then we'll get out of here. Marty, since you were last in and having trouble, I'm going to let you be first out. Thank you for coming. Love your shirt. Where can folks find you?
Tuesday nights, of course, here. My favorite spot to be with all these great folks. Thursday nights with David on In Touch with iOS. And then Eric Bolden and I do Vision Profiles on Monday night at 9 p.m. You can catch us streaming through YouTube or pick up the podcast or video stream the next day. And doing one called Old Mac Gang on Wednesday nights, and that's kind of fun. Again, 9 o'clock. So if you want any of my stuff, find it at thepodtalk.net. That website will give you links to the different shows.
Thank you, Marty. Appreciate it. Jim Ray, thank you for being here. Where can folks connect with you?
Best bet is on Mastodon. ProVue Jim, PROVUE, unusual spelling, JIM, at techhub.social.
Great. Thank you for being here. Jeff Gamet, delighted that you could make it tonight. I hope that the trend continues. Where can folks find you?
Well, I hope the trend continues too. It is looking promising. So, fingers crossed. And it is nice to get to hang out with all of you. This is 2 weeks in a row. I'm really excited. All right, so social media, Jay Gamet everywhere, and I'm active on Mastodon, and I'm working on getting active on Blue Sky. I'm on Instagram, but I'm experimenting with moving over to PixelFed. So I'm on pixelfed.social now too. And then how about shows? Holy crap, I can put an AirTag on my cat. Elevation Lab has a cat collar tag. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyhow, shows. Here with you on MacVoices Live, then with Dave on Thursdays for In Touch with iOS. Dave, it's looking more promising this week, so maybe I really will be back. And then let's see, what else? British Tech Network, big show on Thursdays, Mac Show on Fridays. Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Well, Bixby, do you think the Quilt Queen will make a special quilt if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl?
We'll have to wait and see.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another way of me saying I have no idea. So.
Don't you have any say in this?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
So you want to know where to find me?
Please do.
I'm here. Just call it right. So a statement that Jeff makes all the time on all the socials. Really, I try to use the same handle on all of them. It's Web Bixby, WEBBIXBY. Right now, I've been advocating for Blue Sky. You can find me on Blue Sky at Web Bixby.
Great, thank you, Web. Thank you. Mr. Bald Eagle himself, Eric Bolden, where can folks find you?
Well, with Marty on Mondays, here on Tuesdays, but on the socials, the easiest is Mastodon at EA Bolden at techhub.social or mas.to.
Great. Thanks, Eric. Thanks. We'll look forward to whatever you bring us next week.
No idea.
Yeah. Well, that's two of us. Dave Ginsburg, good to have you as always. Where can folks find you, as if I didn't know?
Thank you for having me as always. You can find me at InTouchWithIOS, InTouchWithIOS.com. You can find me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/InTouchWithIOS. I'm here on Tuesday nights. I'm on the Mac Show on Fridays on the British Tech Network. And I'm on all the socials at DaveG65, but mostly Blue Sky and Mastodon.
Thank you, David. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices Live, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'd love to have you join us in the chat room. The folks in there tonight have been throwing comments back and forth, as you can tell. We'd love to have you be part of that. So please mark your calendars, tell your smart assistant to remind you, whatever, but we want to see you next Tuesday. One quick plug here for our CES shows. We're doing it a little bit differently this year. We're mixing them in with the releases of our regular shows. So you're getting a couple CES shows per day along with a regular show, depending on how the scheduling and all falls. But they're out now as I record this. I believe all the shows from Unveiled are out, and we're just starting PepCom, or PepCom starts tomorrow, whatever. But the point is, there's a lot there. There's a whole lot more coming. So check them all out. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.